So what do you do in a situation like this? You're popping off on the internet? What the fuck? I'm world famous now. It's crazy.
Hello, my hungries. It's Miella Threescoopes, and welcome back to Miella Talking VTubing Space. Oh boy, now this is going to be a very interesting VTubing Space topic. Not that long ago, a VTuber who goes by the name Banana Juju started popping off due to the controversy circulating around her new VTuber persona. I say controversy, but not really, because I think it's safe to say that a majority disagrees with the accusations of racism here. Before I get started on tonight's VTubing Space topic, as always, I would like to remind you watchers to not go out of your way to harass anybody being talked about in the video. Just don't, okay? We've been over this dance before. As I said, I think it's safe to say that a majority are saying that it's not really so much as a big deal, considering it's just a monkey VTuber with dreads and white skin. Big whoop. Ooh, call the presses. In the year of 2025, where gatekeeping is seen as very heavily frowned upon, and there isn't a lot of censorship and bans needed when it comes to certain cartoons nowadays, it's just a big meh to a lot of people, and I do fall into that category. I'm not even going to pretend I know what the intentions of the VTuber were when they were doing their redesign. I said redesign, keep those words in mind. Despite me being on the meh side as well, I am going to be completely fair here. It generally baffles me how very little people are choosing to even bring it up. Some people have brought it up, but not a lot. It seems like nobody really wants to talk about it. Tossing aside the annoying screaming Karens, we're talking about people who are genuinely bothered by this. I honestly wish I could say it was just the hairstyle that's causing all the fuss being used on a white VTuber model. But I think anyone who's well educated with American history knows why it possibly triggered more than just beyond using the hairstyle. Now, these Twitter freaks, as you guys taught me to call them, either they just have genuine concerns or they're just looking for people to cancel and will unknowingly just give that person more support and clout. Now, I'm just going to be brutally honest. When I first came across this on my Twitter timeline, I didn't even correlate any of that stuff to this. I just thought, oh, she reminds me of Tarzan because, you know, Tarzan has a pretty similar look. And this hairstyle, at least in my personal opinion, looks more wild compared to actual braids. But at the same time, this is how dreads are usually done in anime style. So unfortunately, we have come across a stalemate where it's either seen as meh or, yeah, this is definitely something to raise eyebrows at. I just have to be brutally honest with that. There's no sugarcoating this. I know what you guys are probably thinking. It's silly to police a hairstyle. And it is. I don't know how it is for dreads in different parts of the world, but in America, I think it goes without saying from the West Side, it can definitely be seen in a negative light outside the African-American culture. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where a majority of the complaints are coming from. But as I said, I can also unfortunately understand where the genuine people are coming from with their heavy dislike and distrust for Banana Juju's new choice of look. Now stay with me, okay? Hear me out. I personally don't see a problem with it. I think it looks perfectly fine. But of course, I can also understand where other people are coming from because I know my American history, okay? In their eyes, it's not just the hair that's the problem. Come on, to those genuine people. We're not talking about Karens here, as they see it. The only thing that's keeping this VTuber persona from crossing that line is that it's white. I wish something like that wouldn't have popped up into anybody's mind in the first place, but unfortunately you can't reverse history. And in their minds, it's going to attract a very racial crowd. And for even more reasons, you can't blame their skepticism. I'm only saying this because after doing some digging, remember I brought up about her previous VTuber persona before the upgrade? This is how her former VTuber persona looked before the change. And some people are questioning why the sudden drastic change of skin color. Like, why make it more white? Unless she knew how the internet would have reacted to her new VTuber persona if she had kept the previous skin color. I would call that a good thing, but at the same time it also shows she's not completely ignorant. By the end of the day, it all just narrows down to the creator's credibility and whether or not you could trust her. And that's totally up to you guys. Well, as I always say, your VTuber model doesn't always have to represent you 100% wise, but with the new change of look, do I even have to repeat myself? It's totally up to interpretation. The only negatives I see coming out of this, despite people cheering her on for not falling into peer pressure, is that people, more and more people, more and more aspiring VTubers, as I say, are going to fall into that controversial route just so they can gain that quick success, so to speak, because She is falling. She is snowballing with followers at this point. That's the only negative side I could see coming from this. More people are going to fall into the controversial route just so they can gain that super fast clout. Blech. People find it more harder and harder to trust a creator's credibility in the VTuber space, and sadly, I can't blame those people. At this point, if you don't like something, just don't pay any attention to it. And if you like it for whatever your reasons are, then more power to you. If she's a genuine VTuber who wasn't trying to go for the controversial route to gain that clout, then that's great! Going from 400 to 10k followers in a few days is like a big haha to all the haters. But I think all of us who have been in the VTuber space long enough knows it could just as easily be the other way. It's a sad truth, but nowadays in the VTuber space, I've been seeing that happen a lot, where people are taking that controversial route to gain that irresistible clout. Bottom line is, attention and money and success speaks. And for some people, it will outweigh any moral compass. Anyway, you guys are totally free to have your opinions on this. I would love to hear them in the comment section down below. This is Miella Threescoopes, and this is where I'm ending the video and tonight's VTubing space topic. Until next time, my dear hungries, licky lick.